Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and this is going to be on a CRKT knife that I picked up not too long ago. I actually received this knife for Father's Day, so this is definitely a long overdue video. I just hadn't been able to come around to actually shooting the video. I have used it a little bit, and which is good, so I wanted to give you my opinions on that. Now, my philosophy behind this knife is I actually needed a knife for everyday usage, but when I'm wearing like dress slacks, or if I'm wearing a suit and I'm wearing the pants for the suit, I wanted something that was thin, lightweight, very streamlined design. So that's why I went with this one. Now I do want to give you guys my opinion on the knife, as I always do. But the reason for it is because before actually choosing this knife, I did a little bit of research. I watched some videos, and I found a lot of negative reviews on this particular knife. But what I did find is that a lot of the reviews and a lot of the things that negative things people had to say, were things like the length of the knife, certain constructions of the knife, and things like that, which I believe are more specific to the actual person and not flaws of the knife itself. So right around $30, I didn't mind spending that to check the knife out for myself. So obviously this is CRKT, and this is the Delegate model from CRKT. Now I normally have another knife that I would roll in so you guys can see by way of comparison. Unfortunately, I don't have a knife to compare this particular knife to that's along the same lines, so obviously I would be using that knife. So I'll give you some of the specs on the knife itself. As you guys can see by at first glance, it's a very gentleman type folder. Not very tactical at all. Very nice, clean lines. Straightforward. The construction of the actual handle is a combination of G10. So the black portion is G10, and then it has burlwood inlays. Very, very nice. I think it definitely complements, the two colors complement each other and just makes it look really, really nice. Now the G10, actually from far away, it almost has this kind of carbon fiber look to it, so it's really cool. And I like the fact that they did the inlay like this. I'm not too fond of the bolsters. So if you guys know, a lot of the knives will have like maybe a bolster, one color, and then the rest of the handle would be another color. I don't really like that, so I like the fact that they kept this kind of shape like that. Now, one of the things that drew me to this knife, especially with the purpose that I was going to use it for, is the fact that it does have CRKT's Outburst assisted opening mechanism. I'm fond of assisted opening knives, but it also has the fire safe technology. And if you guys don't know what that is, the fire safe technology from CRKT, what it does is it allows the blade not to open up on its own while it's in your pocket, or by just actually pulling on the blade. That's really nice because it, like the name states, it makes it safe. What happens is you actually have this thumb stud, and you have to actually push down on the thumb stud at the same time that you're pushing out on the blade to go ahead and actuate it. And I'll go ahead and show you guys how it works. Alright, so as you guys can see there, I had to actually physically push down on the thumb stud and at the same time push out in order for the blade to come open. Definitely fires really, really nice, locks up very, very nice. This is a liner lock, so as you guys can see, the liner engages there right, pretty nice. And the blade is actually very nice and centered on the knife itself. So again, a lot of the fit and finish and just overall impressions of the knife is very favorable, and again, for a $30 knife. Now, a couple specs on the knife itself. Blade length is 3 inches of blade length. The closed length on the knife is 3.5 inches. And then the overall length of the knife is 6.5 inches. So obviously very, very good for everyday task, as far as what you would need from a particular blade of this length. Now, another thing that caught my eye when I was actually looking at it is it does have this kind of secondary choil right there, which is really nice because it lets you choke up on the blade if you had to do that. But the blade itself is very, very thin, no jimping whatsoever on the knife anywhere. Again, not a tactical knife. And then you do get this clip point blade with a high hollow ground, and then a almost like a false wedge right on top there. So that's pretty nice. One thumb stud only. It's not a dual thumb stud because, again, it is kind of more designed for right-handed users, and that goes along with the pocket clip. Pocket clip is only right side tip down carry, so you cannot switch it. So again, if you're a left-handed person, unfortunately this would not be the knife for you. Blade steel on the knife is 8CR14 MOV. Not the best steel, but again, I'm not going to be using this knife all the time. So it definitely, if I keep it nice and sharp, then that blade steel is pretty easy to do. Let me go ahead and close it down again. Now, one of the gripes that I found a lot of people had with this particular knife was the size of the knife. A lot of people said when they received the knife, it was a lot smaller than it looked like it was online. And to that, I would say, do your homework, do your research, watch the videos, pay attention to the measurements and whatnot, and the dimensions from the site that you're ordering it, because unfortunately that's more of a personal mistake. If you do order something and it looks a lot smaller than what it is. The other thing is with the Outburst Mechanism and the fire safe is the way if you guys can see right here, and let me see if I can focus in on that. This pin kind of moves in and out, and that's what actuates the fire safe mechanism. So you actually have to physically push in on that in order to for it to fire open. All right. So what I found a lot of people had an issue with was once it is open, it kind of moves freely in there because there's nothing to stop it. And as you guys can hear, it kind of makes this noise. Now, honestly, for me, that wasn't a deal breaker. I mean, I'm not going to be shaking my knife where, this is not the way I'm going to use it. I'll open it up, cut something, maybe keep it open and whatnot, cut something again, and then put it away, and then that's it. You don't have that noise. Now, as you guys can see on the closed position, or here on the closed position, you do get that rattling as well. But again, it's going to be sitting in my pocket. I don't think I would actually hear it. I've actually used the knife about 2 times already, and it has not been a problem for me. So, again, for $30, I think for the fit and finish and just the actual usage that I would need from this particular knife, I definitely think it serves a purpose. And I would definitely recommend it. If you're looking for something like this, I would say this would be like a poor man's Chris Reeve Nandi. This it kind of reminds me of those. Obviously, nowhere in comparison to the materials or anything like that, but just in the size and the particular purpose of the knife, that's what this would remind me of. So again, this is the CRKT Delegate. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you.